you can rule by fear, but you probably shouldn't. And I think that's something that is so important for us to learn as leaders, is that ruling by fear seems like the easy way out. It seems like the right thing to do. I'm strong if my people fear me and respect me. Absolutely, your people must respect you. But do they have to fear you? Should there always be a tough consequence for poor performance? I don't know. I don't think so. I actually think that we get better behavior change and better performance when our people want to perform for us. I'll give you an example. I worked with, a couple of weeks ago, I had a review with, I facilitated a review with a leader and one of his people. And the girl wasn't performing quite to standard. It wasn't quite where we needed it to be. She was trying really hard, but she just wasn't getting it right. She was still focusing on the wrong things, and the manager was becoming really frustrated with her, to the point where, like, you know, I mean, to the point where he was almost angry that she just wasn't getting it right. It felt almost like a betrayal, in that her wealth of experience and the way she's performed in the past shows us that she could probably perform, but she just hasn't been doing it. And so we brought her into this review, but before we went in, I spoke to the manager and I just said, you know, let's try and behave constructively in this. What do we want to get out of this? If you're ready to dismiss and get rid of her and fire her, well, then we don't have to necessarily be kind. But is that going to help us? Is that going to help us to achieve as a business what we need to achieve? Or is it going to just put us further back on the basis that we now have nobody in the role? And he thought about it for a bit and he said, no, we would be in a very difficult position if she didn't work for us. So I said, okay, great. I said, then we need to get her to work. We need to give her every possible chance to make it right. And so there's two ways we can go about this. We can go in here being firm and hard and, you know, and rule by fear and tell her there'll be consequences if she doesn't perform. Or first, we can seek to understand. And we can first seek to understand why she's not performing, which we did. So we came in, we tried to understand, and it turns out that there were a whole bunch of issues that were preventing her from performing. Some of them were internal issues that the manager could actually do something about. Some of them were issues in other departments where the manager could go speak to those managers. And some of them were personal issues that we couldn't do anything about, but if we hadn't given her the opportunity to tell us what those things were, we would never have known that those issues existed. The mere fact that we gave her an opportunity to speak, to explain why she wasn't performing, helped us to understand those reasons, and then helped us to get to a point where we could help her to perform better. It's been about 3 or 4 weeks since the review, and her performance has improved dramatically simply because we heard her and we allowed her then the time to deal with some of her personal issues, which didn't take a lot of actual work time. She just needed someone to know. And we've fixed some of the internal issues inside. And now the person that we employed, that we knew was going to be right from the beginning, is being right and is right in the role. So when it comes to managing, yes, you can manage by fear and you will get the results you require. But when you're managing by kindness, still firm, still very clear about what your expectations are, but with kindness, just a kindness to understand, a seeking to understand, to teach, to guide. When you're managing with that mindset and leading with that mindset, you don't just get the results you want, you get the best out of your people. And that for me is far better than getting just what we need and a whole bunch of robots. So, can you manage by fear? Absolutely. Should you? Probably not. Have a good day.